Hello, Virgo risings. Welcome to your monthly zodiac reading for the month of November 2025. There is a lot happening this month. I will try to get through it as much as I can. This will probably be one of the 30-minute videos just because there is so much information to get through astrologically every single week. So let's go ahead and jump right in. As always, we are going to pull an overall energy theme. We will pull tarot for each week. I will go over those tarot messages, go over the astrological transits, and then clarify with more tarot and oracle. So let's see what Virgo risings need to know for the month of November 2025. Focus on the positive. New moon energy. So we do have a new moon in the sign of Scorpio towards the middle of the month, around the third week. But ultimately, this is trying to get you to focus on the positive. This card is actually bent a little bit. But focus on the positive, right? Focus, do things that encompass like gratitude, really really focusing on speaking positively. This doesn't mean toxic positivity. You can always acknowledge anytime you're struggling or experiencing a challenge. When you acknowledge it, it kind of neutralizes the energy, and then you can kind of move up from there in frequency. So this month is the time to focus on the positive, regardless of what it is that you encounter or even come across. Here in the beginning of the month, we have Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups represents kind of like shiny object syndrome. There are a lot of paths before you that seem very appealing, but you're not entirely sure which one to take, right? There's a lot of positives that can come from each path, but you're not entirely sure which one to take because maybe not all of these paths are going to be as fulfilling as what you think they are, right? So this is the first week. We have Mars moving into the sign of Sagittarius. Mars is the planet of action, war, willpower, control, assertiveness, and aggression, and is moving into the sign of Sagittarius, which for you guys sits in your fourth house. So this is your house of home. This is your house of like emotional safety. This can represent your physical home and all things like domestic matters. So anything that actually involves like your family life and even your physical home, all of those things kind of encompass in this particular area. So Mars is moving into that sign. On the 5th, we have a full moon within the sign of Taurus. Full moons are a buildup of energy, and the light of the moon is going to be illuminating something that you need to see. For you guys, Taurus sits in it looks like it is in your 9th house. This is your house of higher learning. This is your house of expansion. This is kind of like philosophical, spiritual, religious beliefs, long distance travel, right? The 9th house is all about expansion through exploration, right? It's like bigger, go home in this house, all in or nothing with this house. Venus moves into the sign of Scorpio on the 6th. It's kind of funny because this card is actually associated with Venus in Scorpio. So Venus is the planet of love, money, beauty, and value, and it is moving into the very deep and intense sign of Scorpio. And with this card, it can be that you're passionate about a lot of things. You want a lot of things, and a lot of things seem very, very appealing, but you're not entirely sure which one is the right choice to make, right? Which cup is the right choice to make? So Venus moving into the sign of Scorpio, this is Venus moving into your 3rd house. This is your house of thinking and communication. Mercury traditionally rules this house. What I have found with this card is that it is easier to gain a sense of clarity when the nervous system is regulated, when you remove all distractions and really take time to focus on what it is that you're wanting to feel or what it is that you're wanting to experience. In the 8th, Uranus is going retrograde, or is stationing retrograde at 0 degrees in Gemini. Uranus will be leaving the sign of Gemini, and it's currently been in Gemini for a couple months now, disrupting and creating chaos there. It is currently retrograde, and now it is retrograding back into the sign of Taurus. It left Taurus earlier this year, where it had been for about 7 years. So there could have been a lot of like disruptive things around, maybe not disruptive. It doesn't quite feel disruptive. It almost feels like learning about things revolutionary, learning about things that have kind of changed your life. And maybe Uranus moving back into that sign is asking you to really reevaluate it. Go back and review the things that you were once learning, and maybe going back to review those things might actually reignite your passion for one or two of those things, and maybe not all 7 here in this second week. But regardless, this first week can feel very confusing. It can feel very foggy. That is probably because Neptune just retrograded back into your opposing sign. So currently Neptune is retrograding, or it's like opposing your it's opposing your rising sign. So Neptune is retrograded back into your 7th house of long-term commitments. And again, that could be why you feel there's this lack of clarity about, what do I really want to commit to, right? What is going to feel the most fulfilling? What path before me is going to feel the most fulfilling? Here in the second, the 2 of Wands. So this can represent a bad partnership. This can represent not fully evaluating a situation, which of course is, I feel like, probably to be expected with Neptune. Now that I see this, I feel like Neptune is playing a very big role for you this month, but not fully evaluating the situation, which can happen if you're feeling a lot of uncertainty around things. But the 2 of Wands in reverse can represent not fully evaluating a situation, and therefore you're not entirely sure where to go, right? You're not totally sure which way you should go. Mercury will be stationing retrograde within the sign of Sagittarius. So Mercury will be stationing retrograde when it comes to, again, your domestic life. And your domestic life can include children. It, like I said, it includes your physical home, anything that resides within that physical home, including children, spouses, pets, things like that. So this is all things domestic matters. Maybe you're not entirely sure where it is that you want to go. All right. So Mercury going retrograde within that house is giving you a period of review, right? So it's giving you the opportunity to evaluate the situation fully before you make a decision. Jupiter will also be stationing retrograde on the 11th. So Mercury goes retrograde on the 9th, and then a few days later, Jupiter goes retrograde within the sign of Cancer on the 11th. For you guys, Cancer sits in your 11th house. This is your house of the future. This is your hopes and dreams and aspirations, like what you want for the future. It could be that you're like, I don't even really know anymore. I don't know what to do about this. And it could be that there's just a lot of energy that feels at a standstill. And maybe that's because you're not actually meant to go anywhere at this time. You're meant to maybe just, truth be told, it feels like you're being asked to like marinate. You know, like you put a piece of meat in a bag to marinate so that you can cook it later. I feel like that's what the universe is doing to you. The universe is dipping you in this very specific type of marinade, and it's trying to get you to flavor up, so to speak. So I feel like that's kind of what's happening here. With Neptune retrograding, opposing your rising sign, Mercury going retrograde, Jupiter going retrograde, all of these things are happening, right? And they're kind of impacting a lot of mutable signs. So I feel like this time is not actually the time for you to make a decision. It is more or less time for you to sit down, to really reflect and to really discover where it is you want to go. Like, really evaluate the situation and say, what do I really want here? What do I want to feel in the long run? Here in the third week, Judgment. And it's funny because this is the week that we have the new moon in Scorpio. Pluto is the modern ruler of Scorpio, and Pluto rules this card. So the new moons are new opportunities to set intentions or to start a new path for yourself. Scorpio sits in, again, your third house. So this is, you may be moving. I'm genuinely wondering if you guys are moving. Because the third house is, yes, it is communication, it is thinking, it is also like your local community. Local communities, it can also govern things like siblings, cousins, early childhood basically kind of encompasses the third house, and anything that can encompass the third house or or early childhood. So it feels like some of you could be deciding on whether or not to move. Right? Do I want to relocate? Here, you're like, I don't know. Do I want to live in an apartment? Do I want to live in a condo? This, it's all going to require a certain type of commitment, financial commitment. I'm looking at jobs. I'm looking at family. I'm looking at all things domestic. And you're having a hard time really evaluating the situation. But here, the week of the new moon, you have Judgment. And Judgment, that's a major arcana. So this week is a big deal. That new moon in Scorpio, like I said, new moon energy, that new moon in Scorpio is going to be a big deal for you, because it's either asking you to make a judgment call and just trust. Listen to your intuition and trust that the judgment call that you make is going to be the right one. Focus on the positive. Focus on the positive. Trust that the judgment call that you make is going to be the right one. The new moon in Scorpio, and then we step into Sagittarius season. Here, the Queen of Swords, clear and direct communication, making clear decisions from a very unbiased perspective. So the thing about Libra, the Queen of Swords is associated with Libra. Libra is the only sign within the zodiac that is represented by an inanimate object, meaning that the object that represents Libra, the scales, has no sentient life to it. And for me, I interpret that as it is because Libra's energy is all about balance. And in order to maintain balance, it has to look at things from a very unbiased and impartial perspective. And in order to do that, there cannot be any emotion, there cannot be anything to influence emotion existing within that inanimate object. And so here with the Queen of Swords, she's a visionary. She's able to see things clearly, but not only is she able to see things clearly, she's able to communicate that. She's able to make quick decisions based upon, she's this very wonderful energy of kind of blending logic and her intuition. The logic outweighs the intuition, but the intuition is still there. She's very emotionally intelligent, right? Because she's a queen, so the emotion is still there, but it's more tucked away than like the Queen of Cups. So this is more, she balances that intuitiveness with her logic. She knows that the emotions are there. She listens to her intuition, but ultimately she's able to make that clear decision based upon what she knows. This is the week that Mercury stations direct, and it's going to station direct within the sign of Scorpio because it eventually retrogrades back into the sign of Scorpio. So it is going to station direct, and I think here you're going to gain a lot of clarity in these next 2 weeks, right? Seeing the vision, seeing the future clearly, really seeing things from that higher perspective, and being able to make decisions that you feel good about, right? Mercury going direct, you're like, boom, you know what? I can make this decision. Saturn is also going to go retrograde or station direct on the 28th. Mercury stations direct on the 29th. So what has felt like a lag, what has felt like a lot of energy slowing down is actually going to move forward very, very quickly at the end of the month for you guys. Let's see. Again, Mercury is stationing direct in your third house, and then Saturn is going to be stationing direct in your seventh house. So this is long-term commitment. This is marriage contracts, business contracts. So again, if you guys are thinking, I keep feeling like some of you are thinking about moving. It could be that by the end of the month, you end up signing a contract to either a new house or a lease or something like that. Let's see. Let's see what other messages. This has already kind of gone on longer than what I anticipated. A few minutes longer than what it normally should have, but I think I got carried away with the Seven of Cups. But yeah, ultimately it feels like the first half of the month, there's like a lot of uncertainty, a lot of like fogginess and cloudiness. Like, where do I go? What do I even do? How do I even find these answers? And then towards the end of the month with the new moon in Scorpio, it's like clarity. Here in the first week, the Seven of Cups, the Hermit. So yeah, I said, removing distractions here with the Hermit, taking some time for that solitude so that you can come to this state of enlightenment. And then the Eight of Wands, making those quick decisions. I love that. Moving from the 7 to the 8, feeling very confused. But like I said before, isolating, taking some time to yourself to really gather your thoughts and really think about what it is that you want so that you can make those quick decisions and understand that when you make those quick decisions, they are going to, you know what I mean? You're going to hit your target with the Eight of Wands. So that's beautiful, especially with things going on in your third house, especially your fourth house, and even, like I said, your ninth house. And it could be maybe that you could be choosing to travel. Maybe you're choosing to take a trip. Maybe you are choosing to go somewhere here in this first week. Maybe you're not entirely sure. Maybe your plans are uncertain. But it looks like everything is going to work out exactly as it's meant to here in this first week. Second week, the Two of Wands, the Queen of Swords in reverse. You're not evaluating the situation fully because either one, you're taking on too many opinions from other people, or you are just overthinking the situation. The Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is feeling disappointed or feeling regretful. But it almost maybe feels like if you're feeling regretful and you're feeling disappointed in something, it could be just simply because you're overthinking it. Like, that's what I'm saying, like, focus on the positive. You're overthinking it. Did I make the right choice? Was this the right thing to do? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. What if it's the wrong choice? What if it is? The universe will correct itself, especially if you're looking at it from the perspective of, if it's meant for me, let it be. But if it's not, block it. So when you have what you have here in this second week, the Two of Wands, not evaluating the situation fully, you can feel disappointed because it almost feels like you're just overthinking the situation. You're overthinking it, and you're probably could be focusing on everything that could feel disappointing is what you're focusing on, versus looking ahead and focusing on what's positive and looking at this new adventure that's before you, because it's the new moon in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is expansion through exploration. Expansion through exploration, whether that is exploring the physical world around them or whether that is exploring the very internal world through information, whether that's expanding the mind or expanding your worldview. Either way, that expansion is coming through some sort of exploration. So it could be that the reason it just feels like you're not evaluating the situation fully, or you're worried that it's the wrong decision, is that you're just simply overthinking it. Maybe something didn't quite work out the way you thought it would. It feels a little disappointing, but don't let that send you into a spiral. Here in the third week, the Judgment card, the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, and the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. It feels like you are procrastinating making a decision on something. That's why Judgment is here. Judgment is telling you, just make the judgment call. Just choose. Don't procrastinate it with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. And the Knight of Pentacles in reverse is, the Knight of Pentacles is Virgo energy. This is your card. This is your energy. But because you're choosing to procrastinate, you're blocking this new opportunity with the Ace of Pentacles. This is a tangible opportunity that is right here in front of you around the time of the new moon in Scorpio. But you have to take that leap of faith. You have to take that leap of faith, and you have to trust that as long as you are listening to your intuition, that as long as you have all of the information that you could possibly have, that the choice you're going to make is going to be what is right for you. But I genuinely think that you procrastinating here in this third week is what's blocking the opportunity, nothing else. Just your procrastination on making that choice. Here in the fourth week, the Queen of Swords. So again, we've taken the Queen of Swords here in the second week and you flipped it. Making that judgment call, really like surrendering to the unknown, surrendering to however the chips fall. Let the chips fall where they may. Surrendering to that instead of procrastinating, and it can turn this queen direct. Seeing the vision clearly, making a clear, concise choice. The King of Cups, beautiful. Oh, that's awesome. And then the World, a brand new beginning. Reaching a higher state of awareness, reaching a greater state of understanding within yourself and within the world around you with how things work. A cycle is coming to a close, and you're now beginning a new understanding. And then here we have the King of Cups as well. This could be someone in your life who is extremely supportive, someone who is very emotionally grounded, someone who is very emotionally regulated, but this can also be you. You are balancing, like I said, the Queen of Swords. She's more logic than she is emotional, but the emotion is still there. But the King of Cups, he's all emotion. But because he's direct, he's regulated emotion. So now, because you are able to bring these two into a state of harmony, you're really able to listen to your intuition, and you're really able to grasp that intuitive knowing. It's going to bring about this brand new beginning, this brand new opportunity to reach a higher state of consciousness, a brand new beginning within yourself. It feels like a deeper knowing and trust within yourself, but also just a brand new opportunity within the physical world. So that's incredible. I love that. I love how that came out. You know, and truth be told, if you're uncertain, and for some of you, it may be that you make the judgment call to not take any action on this new opportunity because you feel like it is not the right opportunity. The Ace of Pentacles, when it's in reverse, can represent that the right opportunity, it's still in development. Like that's why the Ace is in reverse, because the opportunity is not ready yet. Not because of anything you're doing, but just because when the universe is trying to put you on the right path, when it's trying to give you whatever it is you're trying to manifest, it's like moving chess pieces. You may be in the ready position, but there are other factors involved. And so you have to kind of wait until these things are ready to be moved, to be put into place so that you can now move forward. And while that sucks, it usually happens for the highest good. It usually happens for our greatest good, right? So it could be that judgment call, maybe you're like, you know what? I'm ready to make a decision. I'm ready to make this quick choice. It's not the right partnership. I don't overthinking it, wondering about it, just feeling disappointed about it, and then choosing to be like, you know what, I'm not going to move forward because this is not the right opportunity just yet. And as a result, it actually brings you into a greater state of clarity. Let's see what the oracle cards have to say. I know I interpreted that in two different ways. Again, this is a collective reading. So I think you're going to know your situation best. And this is either going to probably confirm what you already know, or it's going to give you something to think about. Tune out distractions. Boom. How perfect is that? Tune out distractions here in this first week. Tune out those distractions, because not every cup, it seems like it's going to be fulfilling, but it's not actually. It's actually it's like empty calories. It's not nutritious and it's not good for you like you think it's going to be. So it's more or less just empty calories. But tune out those distractions with the Hermit card. Stay off your phone. Don't ask advice from a bunch of people. Just kind of go within and tap into that intuitive knowing. And I just realized the Hermit is also Virgo energy. So this is all about you. We've got two cards here that represent Virgo energy. This is about you trusting you. So tune out those distractions so that you're able to see what direction you want to move into. Let's see what the second week. Change tracks. And the Two of Wands. Whatever is on like the precipice, like whatever you're moving into, again, whether this is like you're looking to move into a new space. And sometimes for some of you, I feel like this is a business space. This is a business space. Like if you're opening up your own business and you're looking for a physical location, this is a business space that's not quite ready yet. It's not the right location. It's just not the right location. But for some of you, this could be like your physical home. You're considering moving, changing locations, moving states, which if you're going to do it, I would go ahead and do it sooner rather than later. But it's like I'm looking for all these places and something feels very like maybe it checks all of the boxes, but something falls through and you're going to have to switch gears. It's going to feel disappointing, but I don't think it has anything to do with you. Like you didn't do anything wrong. I think it's just whatever opportunity falls through, it just was not the right opportunity for you. Regardless of how sugar-coated it seemed. Accept disappointments gracefully, yeah. Whatever, again, whether this is with a physical home or maybe even a business location, whatever it is, like you're just going to have to accept what it is. But I think here in this, the new moon in Scorpio, I think you're going to realize that, oh, this actually isn't the right it's not the right space. I see that now. And it could be that with like the local community, maybe you realize something about the local community that you didn't realize before. That, oh, that turns out that's probably not the best space, actually. That's not the best space, right? So this opportunity it's just not quite ready yet. And give it about 30 days. Ace of Pentacles or aces when they're in reverse, you want to give or take 30 days, right? So maybe at the end of the year, you might find the right space, or maybe even a week from now, you might find the right space. But whatever this is, no action moving forward is because you're going to have to accept this disappointment. And again, focus on the positive. Live your soul, not a role. Don't take this position. Don't be in this relationship. Don't move into this particular location because somebody told you it was the right thing to do. Do it because it feels right for you. Again, with the Queen of Swords in reverse, she has the tendency to listen to other people's opinions more so than her own. Because she knows she's a clear, like she's a seer. She's able to balance that logic with that emotion. Again, the logic outweighs the emotion, but you've got the King of Cups here to balance that out. This is a clear balance between logic and intuition. Use them both to your advantage. Don't take on the opinion of, don't do it just because someone else said this is a great idea. This is a great location. This is a great neighborhood. That so-and-so is a great person. They might be for you, but I just don't think they're right for me. And that's really about, even though it feels disappointing, even though it's a total bummer, recognizing that it was for your highest good and that something better is coming is where it's at for you guys this month. So I truly hope this helped. Thank you for allowing me to read for you, and I will see you next time.